This is Chitra. She's an operator at a Cargill plant, and she's becoming familiar with continuous improvement and many of the problem-solving methods used throughout the company. She knows her managers and teams around her are often working to solve big problems and improve processes at her plant. But what about many of the situational problems that she encounters in her day-to-day work? Recently, while on shift, her production line went down unexpectedly. What can Chitra do to better understand the root cause of a problem like this, and then solve the problem? This is 5Why, simply stated. Chitra began a conversation with her coworker, Pratik. He told her about the tiers of problem solving. If we look at all of the problems that might occur at Cargill, a small number of them are big, complex problems that need to be solved by senior and site leadership teams. Other problems are systemic in nature and require department or area teams to solve. But the majority of the problems we encounter are situational. They can be solved by work teams and operators, just like Chitra, using the 5Why method. Pratik explained that 5Why is a problem-solving method that helps us find out the root cause of a problem to allow us to best be able to solve it. Before we can begin asking why a problem is occurring, we need to understand the specific details of the problem. We do this with a technique we call 5W1H. Not to be confused with 5Why, this is a simple list of questions to ask to help add details to your problem statement. What exactly happened? When did it happen? Where specifically did it happen? Who was involved? Which trends or patterns were identified? And how big is the problem? Chitra can now begin her 5Why. Pratik showed her a simple document that helps walk through the entire process. With the problem now clearly defined and background information filled in, she can begin asking why the failure or defect occurred. By asking why multiple times, she is challenging herself to go deeper, to get closer to the root cause. Pratik explained that Chitra should keep asking why based on the response from the previous question. If the conveyor failed because the drive belt was broken, why did the belt break? Chitra was able to reach out to a few different subject matter experts like engineering, supervision, and maintenance. She even reached out to a vendor to help answer some of these questions. Working with this team, she found out that the wrong belt was being used on the conveyor line. By digging deeper, we can also go past human error to find out why the error occurred. Why was that particular type of belt being used? The belt that was used had been in the wrong location in inventory because it was not labeled properly. Asking why multiple times leads to real solutions and helps us improve our standard work. Chitra learned the root cause of why her production line went down. It wasn't just because a conveyor belt failed. It was because the belts had been mislabeled in inventory. Chitra can now work to implement a solution to make sure all of their inventory was properly labeled to prevent this from happening again. With 5Why, problems are solved and fixed much more easily. By asking the right questions, we find out the root causes. If the labeling on the belts hadn't been fixed, this same failure would happen again in the future. By discovering that the cause of the problem was not only that the belt failed or that the wrong belt was used, Chitra prevented this problem from ever happening again. With one less error in the system, her plant is safer and more productive. The 5Why method can be used everywhere, from production areas to finance, safety, IT, and even your day-to-day life. It allows us to work smarter by allowing us to ask the right questions and pull in the right people to help figure out what is really going on. Chitra now knows a new way to discover the root cause of problems. This has been 5Why, simply stated.